how masculine in the face does someone have to be before you yourself feel uncomfortable and unsafe in the bathroom with them?
I honestly wouldn't feel uncomfortable or unsafe in the bathroom unless if that person, and also this applies to cis women as well, unless if that person started trying to like interact with me some way in the bathroom, right?
If you saw Chase in the women's restroom, how would you react?
How would you react if you saw Buck Angel in the women's restroom? I think this is the issue, right?
Who's Buck Angel?
Is a trans man who's very masculine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they have a vagina. I'm assuming. I don't think
I got to catch up on all this
Hulk
American
Hogan with a
insanity.
vagina in the bathroom. Would that not make you feel uncomfortable?
Andrew Tate did a very interesting video on this where he asked.
He did.
But it's like if I saw Buck Angel in the men's bathroom, like I'd be like, okay, like whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, but
No,
I
but
think
I can
if Buck
defend
Angel
myself.
was in the
Women
women's
You're saying
bathroom,
if you went into the
vulnerable
women's
than
restroom?
yeah, well,
Women are
it's
more
surprisingly-
vulnerable than men, so
Yes.
it matters
I
less
mean,
who's going into the men's bathroom.
There's
No. We're saying if you take Hulk Hogan and you give him a vagina, and then he enters a woman's restroom,
Respect his
when
pronouns.
you see them, you're gonna say like, "Oh my God, like that's a male or whatever," but you don't know they have a vagina. So the question becomes like a lot more like murky, or the answer to the question becomes a lot more murky because you're saying like, "Oh, how masculine do they have to look before you're uncomfortable?" But at the end of the day, they have a vagina, aren't they?
because
Women,
if you gave
according
Hulk
to
Hogan
most of you
a
guys?
neo
Well, you
vagina,
said-
he'd still be a man.
But
So
I feel like
You
No,
said
no.
if
I'm
you
saying
gave him
if
a
you-
vagina,
no,
but
okay.
giving him a
Let's-
vagina via a sex operation,
Yeah,
it's
if
not
you
an
have a
actual
woman,
vagina.
Refer to
if
him
you have
as
a
she, her,
woman who
please.
decide, if you have a woman or somebody who's biologically born female, whatever, and they start injecting
I
like,
think that's the definition that we're
okay,
looking for.
If you have a woman or like biologically born female, that's the definition you're working with, and they start injecting themselves with like steroids, start grinding, start working out, get
Testosterone.
surgery to get their boobs replaced, whatever. Now they're this like super muscular person that looks like a guy, and they go into the woman's restroom. Would that be okay with you guys?
No, probably not, actually.
So-
I don't think the female body is like ready to process those kinds of hormones. One of you also mentioned the butch lesbian. Have you seen the rates of domestic violence among those types of couples? I wouldn't frankly want them. Maybe they should have like their own bathrooms
Okay,
or something.
I
Maybe
think
it should be like an
I think-
LGBT bathroom
Yes.
for
I
all
feel
of
like the
them
issue-
to use.
By the
Third
way,
restroom.
someone in the
Third
chat
bathroom.
actually
Would you
claimed
say
that women
separate
are
but
not
equal?
vulnerable, which is absolutely insane.
Well, no. I think the argument is women are not necessarily vulnerable in bathrooms. There's not like this
They
epidemic.
are more
Hold
vulnerable
on.
than men.
Wait,
in general.
hold
So
on.
at what-
Hold on. Number one, there's
Okay.
not this epidemic of bathroom rapes. Okay, this is like a really fantastic scenario. Number one.
Grapes.
Number two.
Grapes.
Grapes.
Sexual
Number
assault.
two. Okay.
Essay.
And I don't know if this is like an SNL skit or something, but like if a rapist is chasing you and you're a woman, it's not like running into the bathroom is going to protect you, right? So the idea that
Nobody
like,
was proposing that it would.
but if there's somebody
But
that wants
should
to,
this be considered socially acceptable?
it's just
It already
wait, Hold on,
is.
wait.
No,
I'm
it's
just,
not.
Wait, hold on.
It's not.
No, wait. In some
It's- yeah.
countries, okay, so like in Sweden, for instance. There's just bathrooms where everybody goes in, and there's
There's
like
no,
an
like,
individual
gender
stall for everybody. Yeah,
anything.
there's plenty of these places that exist. Nobody's out there graping everybody all over the bathrooms. It's not. This is like such a
Isn't
niche.
Sweden like the grape capital of the world?
yeah,
It
Sweden,
is, it
Sweden
is,
and Germany
it is.
have
No, 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 no,
extremely
no, no, no,
Steve
high.
Larson wrote "Girl
They
with
have
a Dragon
extremely high
Tattoo."
rates
That's
for
because
assault.
they have a more
That's
general
because
definition.
hold on. That's because in like 2013 they did a massive redefinition to open up what they considered grape.
2018.
2018
Compared to
on
other
terms of-
countries.
yeah, number one. But I'm just saying that like I think that there's a valid reason to talk about protecting women's spaces. I think there's a really good conversation to be had about like women's sports, but the bathroom example is one of the silliest, weirdest things that gets brought up constantly. There is not an epidemic of people getting raped in the bathroom, and if there was, a female sign with a dress is not going to stop a rape.
Why do women need to come up with a reason that they don't want men in the
Yeah, at
bathroom
what-
with them, though?
Mhm.
It's
Why
also-
do they need a
it's-
specific reason like
I-
that?
no,
Why
no.
can't it just
Okay,
be
yeah.
If you
that they're
wanna-
uncomfortable?
At what
But
point-
wait, you don't. You're the one
Sorry.
that's pretending they need the reason. Because if you say,
No, I'm not.
You are, because if you say I'm uncomfortable with somebody being in the bathroom just because like I feel like the women's bathroom should be just for people with vaginas, or whatever. That's a fine argument. You can start there. But when it's like I'm worried they're gonna assault me, motherfucker, someone's gonna
That's
assault
part
you.
of it, but it's certainly not
It's
all
not
of
part
it.
of it.
You,
It's
you
not
are
part of it. I don't
correct
believe
with
that.
the assault aspect.
Well, wait, hold on, real quick, because I cut her off. What were you
Okay,
gonna say?
at what
Sorry.
point does someone else's comfort, at what point should that be prioritized over someone else's safety?
The problem is whose comfort, because we always talk about this on the woman's
Biological
side.
women's.
You say that, but so for instance, let's say that I'm a traditional father and I want to take my boy to the bathroom. Okay, let's say he's 6 years old, and then Blair White comes walking into the bathroom. You would defend that. You say, well, she's a biological male. But I might feel really uncomfortable if I'm a traditional male, if I'm a Christian
But
man.
as a man, you're far more able to protect yourself and your
No.
child than
Hold
a
on.
woman is.
Hold on. We're not talking about who's getting assaulted. I'm just saying in terms of comfort, because earlier you said it's just about comfort in the bathroom. So if I'm a traditional male, I'm a Christian man, and all of a sudden somebody like Blair White walks up to the stall and starts peeing in, and my 6-year-old son is there, and he's like, Dad, I didn't know women could do that. well, what am I supposed to say? Now my comfort is being violated, right? So I feel like there has to be like a better middle ground here, other than like all trans people have to be
No,
excluded.
that's the point. You don't say my comfort is being violated, son. You say, son, that's a biological male, but he's pretending to be a woman.
Yeah, but that conversation is going to be really complicated.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It
But isn't
We
it
live in a
like-
crazy world, son. There's a lot
we've
of crazy
always
people.
lived in a crazy world, okay?
It's
Where-
getting crazier.
No,
There's
America's
no
at, I think
denying.
America's at all-time high craziness.
Yeah,
right
we're
now.
at like peak
If you think that
crazy.
we're at an all-time high, it just goes to show how good the country is. That the biggest problem you have are who's going into whose bathroom. Okay, like there are countries that are at war right now. There are multiple countries experiencing genocides right now, and there are tons of horrible problems around the world.
Yeah, but
If
that's
your
like-
biggest issue is who's
It's
going
not-
into the
it's-
bathroom that has a dick
that's-
or not,
it's not
I think
the-
you're doing okay.
That's not the
taking-
biggest
that's
issue.
taking
Way
an
to
It's an issue that
underline-
came up.
What's
Wait,
the biggest issue?
No, let's take an
What's the
extreme
biggest issue in
example.
America? That's totally beyond the
I
scope
think
of this
homelessness
podcast.
on the
I'm
West
curious.
Coast is an
I mean-
extreme issue. That would be something that I would consider to be an extreme
It's-
issue.
it's a
Okay,
big
but this
issue.
is an
It's
issue
a big issue.
regardless. This is
It's a
an issue
problem.
regardless, and you're out here saying, "Oh, there's wars being fought." Well, that's not what's going on here.
Sure. Well, there are kind of
Well,
wars.
yeah,
yet.
there
Not
are
yet.
wars
When
being fought here,
Sure,
but in
I'm
this,
just saying that if you want to have a conversation about the bathroom, okay, I think it's valid to say I feel a little bit uncomfortable if there are people that clearly look like a man entering the bathroom, and there's a lot of trans people that agree with that too. I think that's a fine conversation, but when it goes into this very weird world of like, I think they're going to do these essays and these like all this stuff going on, like I don't think sexual assaults. I don't
Sure.
think that like that's a legitimate concern.
sure,
I think
but
that's
I
something
think
people
Yet.
bathroom aside, I think it's
Yet.
the principle of it. I think the discussion is safety and whatnot. I think the bathroom has little to do with it. I think it's just a
Sure,
broad
and
statement.
again, you're like
It's the
saying
principle of
you're
it.
using but then you're agreeing with me.
It's a
I don't
principle
disagree.
of it.
With you. Yeah, if you want to
Well, I
argue the
never said
principle,
I
you can argue the
disagree.
principle.
Well, I'm just
but don't
laying it out there.
fixate on like essays in the bathroom from trans
Well,
people.
no,
Let's-
you were the
No,
one who
I
was
think- I
think we
fixating
should-
on
I think
so,
essays in
yeah.
the
We're
bathroom.
getting lost in the
Sexual-
weeds.
I want
We're
to
getting
come
lost in the
back. I want
weeds.
to come back to. By the way, can I have everyone just scoot their cups in?